When things like that hit and throw us for a loop, there are things that we can do to help keep us from one, going crazy, but to help us keep up with the things that are really important. For life as a mom, the four walls of priority that I have are God, family, health, and home. Do you miss having time for Jesus and yourself, but you're drowning in the responsibilities of motherhood? If so, you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Cheryl, wife, girl mom, and Jesus follower. I learned the not-so-secret ways to become the mom my girls needed by prioritizing Jesus back into my mom life and reclaiming my identity in Christ. If you're ready to build faith while washing dishes, rediscover your identity, and love yourself like your babies do, grab your earbuds and lock that bathroom door for a minute alone. It's time for Mom. Hi, beautiful. Welcome to the Time for Mom podcast. I am your host, Cheryl. Can you believe that we are having the time management reset in just 6 days? I can't believe it. I don't know about you. This is the last recording that I'm going to make before we are live in that workshop, and I get to see your beautiful faces, and I am so excited. So today we are in preparation for that workshop. We're going to talk a little bit about capacity and the four walls of priority. So this last week, we had a really, really fun week. So my kids had the stomach flu at the same time, and it continued all week long. Now, if you have kids, which if you're listening to this, I'm assuming you have kids or have had kids, you know how much fun the stomach flu is in a child because it takes a while before they're old enough to just take care of things themselves and, make it to bins and toilets on time. And yeah, a 3-year-old is not big enough. So that's been a whole lot of fun. Something like that just really throws a hitch in all of your plans, in all of your routines, and it really messes with your capacity to do all of the things that you would normally do. So for the last week, I have been mostly on my butt, cleaning up really gross things and cuddling with my kids because that's what they needed. And it makes it kind of hard to keep up with things, like Time for Mom podcast or the devotions. But when things like that hit and throw us for a loop, there are things that we can do to help keep us from one, going crazy, but to help us keep up with the things that are really important. So what are the things that are really important? Well, in this case, what I'm calling the four walls of priority is actually a budgeting term. If you're familiar with Dave Ramsey, you've heard it in his material. He talks about the four walls of priority all the time. But for life as a mom, the four walls of priority that I have are God, family, health, and home. If you've been around Time for Mom at all, you know that I believe that time with God is crucial. It is so important because without God in our mom life, we are just going to be running on empty. We're not going to have the patience, the grace. We're not going to be able to mother like we want to because all we're going to have left to lean on is our sinful selves. And I know my sinful self gets awful ugly when I'm not spending time with God. And that's why that's my number one priority. Now, in this season where my kids have been very, very sick, I have been prioritizing my family and health over that. Why? Okay, so here's the thing. I don't get to sleep a lot when my kids are sick. And if I don't get to sleep a lot, that means my immune system is down. So I have to kibosh my routine of waking up early so that I can stay healthy. Now, I can still maintain my spiritual health during these seasons, but I have to do it in different ways, like listening to the Bible, listening to podcasts, prioritizing prayer, which it should be a priority for everybody. But it's something that I consistently struggle with. It's my next area of focus for spiritual health because I know it's a weak point for me. And obviously with sick kids, I have to prioritize family. So my husband has a bit of a weak stomach. So him taking care of the kids isn't the most ideal thing anyway. That one with his health, we honestly don't know how a stomach flu would affect him. It could be really, really bad. So I tried to keep him away from the kids and all of the messes. So that made sleep very important for me to try to keep my health up. And the last of the priorities is home. Now, why is home a priority? Well, because this is our sanctuary. This is where we live. This is where we reside. This is it's our home base. It's very important to take care of your base of operations, if you will. And in that, have I vacuumed? No, I haven't. I haven't swept. I have done an obscene amount of laundry this week, but I have made sure that the dishes are done. I have made sure surfaces are wiped down, and I've made sure that people who are hungry have food. And that was enough this week to take care of home. So, in this workshop, we are going to be talking a lot about capacity because, like I said, you throw something like your kids having the flu and it's going to upset your capacity and what you're able to do. But if you have your priorities, those 4 walls of priorities, and you know what they are, it makes it a lot easier to know what you can cut. Now, obviously, some people have other responsibilities outside of the home, like work or school or something like that. And by all means, your priorities might look slightly different than mine. But in this instance, these are the things that I protect because I have to function as a person, to function as a family, and to keep my family and my relationships with my family whole and healthy. So, when we're looking at our capacity, there are 4 things that actually affect our capacity, and those are emotional, physical, mental, and spiritual factors. Now, my spiritual health really affects my capacity. If my spiritual health isn't made a priority, I'm not going to be the mom my kids need. I'm going to be a little bit bitter and way more short-tempered. And yeah, there's a lot of ugly I can describe, but just listen to past episodes and you'll hear about it. There's mental capacity, which you need as a mom because you're making decisions for the whole family. And there's physical capacity. Physical capacity is mainly what took a hit this last week because I was physically not able to do the things that I usually did because my kids needed me to take care of them. Like I said, a 3-year-old doesn't handle the flu very well. They just don't. And those hits to that bucket were huge and it majorly affected what I could do. But because I knew what to prioritize, we're still functioning quite well as a family. And the last bucket is emotional capacity. Now, there are so many factors to this one, it's ridiculous. And honestly, our spiritual, mental, and physical capacity play a part in emotional. Because if you're not getting enough sleep, if you're super stressed, if you're not spending the time you need with God, if you're having to do a decision-making marathon on your kids' clothing and what they get to keep for the summer and what we need to get rid of and arguing with them because that 2 sizes too small favorite shirt are 2 sizes too small, well, that's going to affect you. But hormones also play a part in your emotional capacity, which is so much fun. So when you're planning out your week, your day, your month, those things can come out of left field and just totally wreck your plans. But you know what? That's okay. Because like I said, if we know what to prioritize, we can prioritize our 4 walls, God, family, health, and home. And we're going to be okay. We're going to come out the other side, and the complete wreck that it would have been isn't going to be that bad. Sure, we'll have to vacuum. Sure, there's going to be some extra things to do, but it's not going to be crazy. It's going to be nothing more than what I would have to catch up on if I went shopping, which for us is an all-day excursion because we shop an hour and a half away from home. But anyway, what is your capacity? When I read those 4 walls, is there one that sticks out to you that you know has been neglected or is a little crooked? Like for me, I know that I have a tendency to get on my phone when I shouldn't. So that is something that steals time from my priorities. So is there something like that that sticks out? I would love to hear about it. What I would love even more was if you would come to this workshop. It's going to be Tuesday, April 21st, 2 p.m. MST. There is a link in the show notes. It'll take you to a page so you can get onto the Google Doc and sign up. There's going to be a replay available. I just need your email. And we get to hang out for like 45 minutes. Honestly, it might be a little longer because I'm passionate about this subject. I'll try to keep it to 45 minutes, but I can't offer a guarantee. Plus, we are going to have some door prizes woo-hoo-hoo-hoo, that you have to be present to win. Just saying. So you got to stick around to the end. But there's going to be some things that I will announce in there that you aren't going to get anywhere else unless you're listening to the replay or you're on my email list after the fact. So please come. Sign up. join me. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, and you're going to have the link in your email at least twice. So please come. It's going to be epic. I love talking to people, and I would love to see some of your faces. But if you are needing some extra support as a parent, I would like to invite you to take part in the free online parenting summit. It's called the Calm Connection Parenting Summit, and it's being put together by Jamie Kirkbride of the Calm Connection Parenting podcast. And in this, we are going to in this summit, she has put together so many different people who are experts that share real tools and understand and parent an emotionally dysregulated or neurodivergent child. And this parenting summit takes place April 20th through 21st. There are live speakers, there's recorded speakers. I happen to be one of the recorded speakers. Woohoo! So if you want to hear my interview, you need to pop in on the 21st as well. So woohoo! So I would encourage you to check that out. And I'll have a link in the show notes for that one as well. Until next week, mamas. I hope I see you next week. Until next week, mamas, I pray that you are able to take a look at your capacity and figure out what is a time issue and what is a capacity issue. And save your questions. Come to the workshop and ask them in the Q&A. We will hopefully see you next week. Love, Cheryl. Hey, beautiful. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, would you take 30 seconds to share this with a mom who's wading through those mounds of laundry and dishes and wishing for just a little me time? Also, please leave a quick review for the show on Apple Podcasts. It makes my day to know this podcast has helped you. Well, it's time for me to wash more dishes and cook more food. I'll meet you next Wednesday for another episode. Until then, may the God of grace fill you with his peace.